I want to, like, Francois, you've been a bit quiet. I don't know how your perspective is, because you're from, like, you were born and bred in South Africa, but I know that you recently were in Dubai, right?
Well, awesome. I mean, it's always good. In the old days, you never traveled. I mean, even to make a overseas phone call was too expensive. So you literally lived in your circle or your cubicle. And these days, I think the opportunity is so amazing because you can literally, I mean, on my way here from my car, I was speaking to someone literally overseas, so things have changed so much. And I was in Abu Dhabi at the, ADEX. It's the biggest armor fair in the world. And I think the next one is actually in South America. Just this morning, they said. So it's easy to travel. It's easy to be everywhere. I mean, you literally get on a plane here and you can sleep, and tomorrow you're in London, when you wake up. So I don't know what's the difference, except that you might not have your own bed. Depends on how much money you have. You can sleep comfortable or you sit comfortable and sleep. It depends on that. But I mean, it's amazing. And I love the cultures. I mean, I live in Pretoria in South Africa, and, the diplomats, they're all living in this area. I mean, I meet a lot of diplomats, and the cultures are amazing. I mean, I really enjoy talking to other people. I mean, Sunday we were sitting and having coffee where all, in the village. And then there was two people literally from Australia on their way back to New York, but somebody told them to come to South Africa and now they're so disappointed because they were here for 2 weeks and they wanted to stay longer, but they were scared that it might be, as you just said, when Greg came here, it might be dangerous but they love it. They're actually going to come back and because it's so cheap, the dollar to the rand is 17 or 18, rand to a dollar. So, and the quality of the food is good. And I know that. I mean, I've traveled the world, as well. And this is the place I want to live and then fly from here, because I think there's nothing like home, and people say that, if there's diplomats staying here, they like it here, but a lot of them want to go back to their houses, which makes sense, So I'm quite excited. Things have changed a lot. We are doing a lot. All these fairs that I attend abroad, I meet people that want to come into Africa, and that's where me and Greg, has collaborated on doing this. And it's just picking up because we're 54 countries with 1.4 billion people, untouched. It's the only continent that hasn't been developed, and I'm super excited for what's coming, and to build this up to a point. And as excited I am, we excite the people on the other side as well, because there's a lot of people that has tried to come to Africa, but because of no network or culture or, they just decided, no, it's not for them because it doesn't make sense, because they don't know where to start. There's literally people 2-3 years trying to do business in Africa, or South Africa. Some lost money, some of this. And now they realize it cost them half the price because we're here, and we bring them a base immediately, because of our network. So, but yeah, I mean, it's I love it. I love it here. We don't have, power issues. We have this, but we work around it. We're from Africa. When I was in Atlanta in December and Christmas, I went on the underground. People said, it's maybe not safe, and I didn't feel unsafe at all. I mean, I would obviously not walk maybe 12 or 2 o'clock in the morning in the streets or whatever, anywhere in the world, but as well in South Africa. So it's amazing how people starting to collaborate to work together. And that's what I like about this. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think tech has really made that accessible. I actually wanted to find out, you kind of alluded a little bit about Next Day of Africa and what you do. How did you guys actually meet?
Because of the ambassadors and the area that I stay in, I'm surrounded by them. So I've met Lorenzo, which is one of the other board members, advisory members actually on our company. And he immediately, I had coffee with him. And when he just, he was 35 years plus for United Nations into Africa. And when he heard what I did, because I had this model, but I did it on my own because I just saw the gaps from abroad, and I literally went to some companies and I started conversations. And while I was in Abu Dhabi, I had a call with a South African company. I was in Abu Dhabi, and the other company was in London. So that's how easy it is to just connect these guys. And I just saw a huge opportunity. And then Lorenzo phoned Greg, and the next day, I think I met Greg in Santon. We went up. That's how quick it started. And then the next month I was on the advisory board, which was great. So this is how this whole thing evolved.
Once again, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. My hope is that we have illuminated what is possible for you. My hope is that we've inspired you to start your journey of elevating Africa in the global space. It is possible. At the beginning of this podcast, I mentioned the African wave. This is it. We are creating a platform for the elevation of Africa in the global space. If you want to join this wave, but you're not too sure where to start, I'd like to encourage you to find out more about the Creatre community. Our community is founded on 3 pillars: coaching, connecting, and culture. Through these pillars, we hope to create a point of convergence for future leaders of Africa. If you are a leader and you want to be a part of this movement, please visit our website. You'll find courses of finding your online voice and see when our next networking event is coming up. We're excited for you to join our journey in connecting Africa to the digital economy. But until then, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for watching, and bye.